So we talk quite a lot about like war and how many people die in war and how terrible it is and these things. But I don't think, modern humans, we can really picture just how horrific World War I and World War II were in terms of casualties. It's very difficult to kind of imagine these sorts of numbers. So I decided to do some research on this, and my fact to kind of back this up is that of the Russians in World War II, so of all male Russians born in Russia, this massive country, in the year 1923, only 20% of them survived World War II.
Oh my word!
Yeah.
What a fact!
Yeah.
So you're saying, of all the male Russians
born in 1923,
only 20% survived World War II.
That's right. Because remember, they would have been like 16 at the outbreak of the war, 17, 18. They would have been in quite a lot of the war at that stage.
So there was always that story. It was either Lenin or Stalin, which means it's either the First World War or the Second World War, where they had no guns, but they had to look like they had guns. Papier-mâché guns.
First World War, they were under the Tsar still.
Oh, the revolution hadn't happened.
The revolution only happens after the...
Yeah, so maybe it's the Second World War where they were given, like, you got to look like you got guns, so here's some papier-mâché things.
Yeah.
But that's it could be myth or it could be fact.
No. I mean, there's stories like that in the Winter War as well, that people were like literally standing behind the guys and forcing them forwards. In World War One, there's allegedly one gun for every 3 people or something in Russia. It's kind of startling statistics.
I really hope your fact isn't true, because that's a terrible, devastating number. And I'm gonna say that. I'm hoping it's a false fact.
It is a true fact.
Good grief!
It is an absolute true fact. But like we again. So I've got a couple of these facts that I could have gone with. Over 100,000 Allied crewmen lost their lives flying in bombers over Europe alone. So that's 100,000 people flying in bombers. Jeez. That's or roughly sort of 30 9/11s. And that's just on the Allied side.
Grief.
Yeah. Only 1 out of every 4 Germans who served on the feared U-boats survived the war. 1 out of every 4, so 75% of them died.
Yo!
Yeah. The siege of Stalingrad resulted in more Russian deaths, military and civilian, than the United States and Britain sustained combined in all of World War II. Yeah.
My word.
Yeah, so these are like when you talk about numbers of dead, like we don't fight wars on that sort of scale anymore. Thank goodness.
Yeah,
thank goodness.
Even Mariupol had everyone feeling awful because there's a siege and they're not letting people out, or they did let people out, or they it's and
well, the rumor is they were letting them out to ship them to Siberia, but who knows?
Good grief! But Stalingrad, wow. What is modern day Stalingrad? It's not St. Petersburg is Leningrad. What's Stalingrad? I don't know.
It's not.
So did the Germans actually siege Stalingrad?
Yeah. It
must be left of Moscow, because they didn't. They Moscow was always a thing where they reached Moscow, then the Russians just kind of retreat and wait for winter. Well, that's war and peace. But did you ever see Enemy at the Gate?
Maybe Leningrad was called Stalingrad at the time. It's possible.
Did you ever see Enemy? Did you see Enemy at the Gate, a movie?
I have not. Apparently, it's about the 2 snipers.
Yes, brilliant. Yeah. He took out a lot of little German generals.
Okay.
Yeah, but when he first starts sniping, it's an enemy's gun, and he just picked it up by accident. And then there's a flashback. His dad showed him how to hunt a deer when he was 11, and then nothing more. Never touched the gun. Then he's on the battlefield, pretends to be dead, rolls over, sees then he waits for a train to come while like showering. And that was his first German general, and he took out about 60 over the next few years, and he became a hero. And they said stopped the Germans from advancing to the oil fields of Iraq, and then they would have ruled the world.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So now at least we have the Russians ruling the world.
Yeah, that's much better, isn't it? I'm sure I'd much rather have the Russians where they are than the Germans.